Well, junior year was definitely a completely different experience for me. Uh, you finally growing up. I was 16 years old. You're actually making the transition to being an adult, and you're just sitting there realizing that, wow, I'm about to graduate. I'm about to be on my own. I'm about to go to college. It's a very stressful time, grade wise, and just developing as a person wise, because at that age, that's when your grades count the most for college, which is very essential to work hard at the same time, but you want to enjoy yourself and have fun like a teenager does and have a good time with all of your friends. There's just a lot of things going on in my junior year. It was very, very hectic. I took a lot of classes. I played basketball. I joined the speech and debate team. I was in leadership. I started at 11 o'clock, so my schedule started at 11, but I took college classes in the morning and at night. And career ed, oh goodness, career ed is a whole different story. I could write an essay about everything I learned in career ed. It's just, it was an amazing preparation. I'm grateful to go to Millennium and to be able to take that class with Mr. Woods, because everything I learned in that class is so helpful, from the resumes and cover letters to the business plan to all the applications he showed us and he helped us with, and all the speakers he brought in that just gave us more information on all the different schools out there. It's something that I was really appreciative of. I remember my business plan. That was the day I realized that you cannot procrastinate on anything, especially when you get to college. My group, Andrew, Vardell, and Cassie, I'm not gonna lie, we kind of waited until the last minute. It was very stressful, especially that night before, staying up all night to get that done. But we actually did a pretty good job. I think we got an A. It was an ice cream business. We had a bakery. We sold ice cream, donuts, pastries, muffins, and I thought we actually had a pretty good plan. My college board project, UCLA, baby. Shout out to Mr. Woods. That was another area where I procrastinated. I'm not gonna lie. I pulled an all-nighter that night. I remember, because my printer wasn't working. It was just very hectic. Another way, just a slap in the face saying, you cannot wait until the last minute. I mean, I still do it, but I know that I shouldn't, which helps. I remember all the speakers that came in. Sergeant Swan, he was one of my favorites. I remember just his voice just made you interested in whatever he was saying. He was just so confident with his speaking, and that is one area that I found very compelling. Even though I never was interested in the military, like, he made me consider it a little bit just by him. And then once I got out, I was just like, nope, I don't want to go back to the military. I don't want to go to the military. So I came to my senses, but still, he was a very great speaker. Etiquette Wednesdays, those were very big as well. It's Etiquette Wednesday with Miss Tina, yay! I'm always gonna remember that voice. I did not know the difference between a salad fork, and a normal fork. I forgot now, but I learned it then. That's one thing Miss Tina taught me. How to set a table, where the bread goes, where the drink goes. I remember that as well. I remember that etiquette is 85% social skills and 15% technical skills also as well. So Miss Tina taught me a lot of things. And she was actually a very, very accomplished individual with a very accomplished family and a lot of success, and she was someone that I could really learn from. And mock interviews was another area of career that was huge, especially. For mock interviews, I'll tell you this, some do's and don'ts, some tips. Always make eye contact with the person that you're talking to. Always make eye contact. Make sure you have a firm handshake. 3 shakes, the thumbs, interlock. You don't want to be too hard or you don't want to be too soft. A lot actually goes into your handshake. You're not supposed to sit until you're told to be seated. You're supposed to state your pros, but you don't want to sound too cocky. You want to brag about yourself. And when you talk about your weaknesses, you want your weaknesses to sound as strengths. Like an example would say, like if someone asked me what was my weakness, I'd say, one weakness that I'm not very proficient at would be my time management. And that would be the fact that it's because I have a lot of different things on my plate. Sometimes it becomes difficult to juggle them all. And then right then, if I'd state all the different things that I'm doing, you start to overlook that weakness because you're looking at, oh wow, he has a lot of stuff on his plate, so kind of makes sense how he's not really able to manage all that at the same time. So that's an example of how to make your weaknesses sort of look like strengths, which really helps with your interviews as well. Fast track. I remember junior year fast track. Since I got into a summer program, I didn't technically have to do fast track because I was gonna do the summer program in July at UCLA for a week, but I didn't want to stay home all of June because I would be bored. So I signed up for personal finance just to take it because I thought it'd be a helpful class, and it actually was. Miss Griffin and Miss Lamana taught me a lot. It was basically like driver's ed but for your credit, and all my friends were in that class, and so especially it's good to learn a lot about them, and we could joke around about our spending outside of class as well. That was pretty fun. I still know that your rent should not be more than a third of your income. Just letting you know. I learned that from Miss Lamana. My college experience is actually pretty big as well. Psychology, that was honestly one of my favorite classes. I took that my second semester junior year. Professor Lindsay. Apparently my Professor Lindsay rejected Aaron Rodgers in high school. I remember that when she told me that, I was fascinated. But psychology was awesome, just learning everything about the brain and how it functions. And it's just one of those classes that truly makes you think. Film is literature. I love Professor Dunn. He's one of my favorite professors ever. He actually wrote a book about himself, but he didn't tell you that it was about himself until after you read it. That was pretty interesting as well. I loved taking classes at Delta. Just the environment, meeting all the new people was an area that I really liked as well. And junior year was one real big step up in my life. I think I really grew up as a junior from being able to drive on my own. It became a lot of responsibility. Classes, I took a lot more classes junior year. And I really realized the importance of applications. I had to study for my SATs, and just junior year is definitely one year I'm not going to forget.